If you have ever wondered, is my sexual energy off? Am I repressed? Is something wrong with me here? Don't worry, boo. I got the shameless sexuality on mental health Monday, baby. Okay, let's talk about this. So, I am shamelessly sexy Jackie here. She, hers are my pronouns. For those of you that are new, like this video, drop me a heart in the comments below. Help my channel grow, yo. And always comment anything that you learned from this video. So let's first talk about what is sexual energy. So I know a lot of people here might be like, sex. No, like sexual energy really talks about more than just sex and just intimacy. It's all about pleasure, baby. So it is about pulling from the pelvic floor area here in the pelvis overall in the sacral chakra, and it does connect to the root chakra here. For those that don't know, that's Reiki energy systems. We have more than the 7 across our bodies, everything like that too. I'm Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 certified, so just fun fact about that. But it's really all about creating, having fun, enjoying things in life here. That is sexual energy overall. So it's not just synonymous with sex. So let's bust that myth right away here, okay? But this is something like where you always want to like create in life or do something. This is the divine feminine energy where you just get to completely like flow, and you don't have to like force anything. You don't have to do, which is divine masculine, boo, right? So this is where, you know, if you are feeling like, is my sexual energy off? Am I repressed or anything like that? It could be blocked. And, you know, this is something where it could take years and years and years and years to actually undo. And we'll talk about like why these things could be blocked, but it may feel kind of awkward to just feel like I am experiencing pleasure, or I'm allowed to just slow down and feel joy and feel happiness and create a pleasurable day or a pleasurable moment for myself or a pleasurable life here. It's really just about like having fun overall. So like example, like I'm in this dress for the 3rd time. I look cute today. So yes, I am batch content creating for y'all. No shame on my game. But I was like playing with my little balls on my dress before, and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. That is like sexual energy, just creative energy here. Okay, let's talk about repression overall. So repression, how this shows up. This can really help sometimes as maladaptive defense mechanism, right? Dial down and repress and push down the feelings of maybe anxiety, guilt, shame, stress, whatever. But it really kicks in when there's unwanted thoughts or urges or things that we feel like threaten our self-image, or even emotions that threaten our self-image here. And so this could be anything from like sexual or aggressive urges or pulses, or like even like painful childhood memories or impulses that maybe we're not proud of overall. And a couple signs that you could be dealing with repression or dealing with repressed emotions or sexual energy overall is like physical issues such as headaches, or feeling like you're experiencing lots of stomach aches here too. Memory gaps, especially around like trauma, maybe even nightmares, flashbacks, anxiety, panic attacks, and even depression with some things. So it's definitely important to feel yourself out, your body out, and get help when you need to, boo, right? Like this is not a replacement for therapy or any types of services that could be beneficial for you. And it's important to really also notice like repression is so tricky, right? Because it can be a defense mechanism. However, people repress people. People say, no, don't play Jackie, don't create Jackie, don't do that Jackie. If I'm like doing some sort of art or something fun or something enjoyable for sexual energy, right? So this is something to be really mindful of and aware of. Like, is this me sexually repressing myself, these thoughts or these emotions or these past things? Or is this something from someone else here and I just want to freaking play all day energy? I just want to have fun. You know, I just want to have pleasurable moments, and that's okay. Okay. So let's talk about signs to know if your sexual energy is off or repressed here. You've been feeling repressed for a long time is one sign. Another one is family generational wounding patterns here. So a lot of times this is trauma that like first generation typically experiences the trauma. Second generation typically can re-experience the trauma or the complex trauma, you know, little t2. And the third generation is like, F that, boo. Like, I'm out. I'm not doing this, right? So it's really about understanding, is there any, you know, Were there any stories from family members like, yeah, no, don't be a photographer because you won't make any money in that? Or no, don't be a famous writer because nobody's going to buy your book, right? Where you're creating. Or no, like, don't go into the sexual wellness field because, you know, people are going to think one thing about you and it's just going to be really bad, right? Like, don't do that, like, creative, pleasurable thing for career, you know, be that art, be that painting, be that jewelry making, be that, you know, just creating anything that feels really good for you, blogging, vlogging, video content, boo, right? So are there any family generational wounding patterns around that, or even the rest of this list that I'm going to share? Okay. Shame around sex and sexuality in all ways, right? Like, you know, if you were a child and you were running around naked, did you get shamed for that? If you were a child and you touched yourself in different parts of your bodies that we are typically exploring, you know, and age 2 to 3, you know, kiddos are typically engaging in, we will call it, what's the word that I want to use here overall? We will call it poisturbation. Okay, if you know, you know. But there has been research that shows that overall. So have you been shamed by that, right? Has there been no sex talk, sex negative programming, language, you know, were you shamed for your sexuality, your gender, the fact that maybe you're poly, you're kinky, you're a swinger, you have a high libido, you just love sex, right? Did someone ever find like a sex toy, a sex item, a book, something of yours and shame you for that because you have that? Was there any type of programming that was really false or sex negative? And even this could be around, if you have been sexually repressed, could be lack of awareness around how people have shamed you here. So definitely watch my videos because these Mental Health Mondays are really meant to help and be very educational and also give some different resources and tools that could be good as a content creator over here as well. This could also just be experiencing like sexual shame, you know, guilt and embarrassment just about one's sexuality or different types of sex negative comments that people have said, how that shows up in sex, right? Like watch that video overall. Watch my other ones. Like I self-disclose in my videos that like, hey, people have shamed me for my sexuality before. Or here's another one, like you don't ever work on shame or you don't call it out, and this is an endless cycle that just keeps happening over and over again, and it's a lot in your mind, and then it becomes stuck in your body, and then you like push it down so far that it feels like it gets stuck in the pelvic area of your body overall, which then makes you creatively stagnant here, you know. And another thing with this too is if you have just been such a doer in life, and you're not pulling from the divine feminine energy of like enjoying what you're doing, having fun with it, it's really playful, it's really pleasurable, then your sexual energy is repressed more than likely. So if you've ever been overgiving of your energy and overdoing it, you know, has your body ever told you slow down? Have you ever gotten sick? Have you ever gotten injured? Have you ever been burnt out? Did you ever need to take a week off of work? Did some major surgery happen during that time where it's like, hey, we need to slow down here? Okay. So just a reflection question for you to kind of think about too, boo. You may also overthink and be restless and want to like sleep a lot, which then makes you feel like you experience a lot of anxiety and fears and attachments or distrust with certain things. And then you feel like you can't even then creatively move forward with stuff. You may also project these energies onto other people and displace them onto them without ever working on them. So then, you know, these generational like trauma or family wounding patterns, or maybe even friendship patterns, can just cycle, and other people see that, and maybe you don't see that or recognize that in yourself. You could deal with a lot of different types of spleen, ovaries, urinary tract, uterus, or kidney issues too. And again, no, I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that. This is just some things that people have written about, and so I wanted to share this overall. You could really struggle with intimacy issues, and a big one could be emotional intimacy with that trust and telling people how you feel and truly being real with them and honest with them and showing up with them and not feeling shame for your emotions. And if you do feel shame for your emotions, then like Yeah, you probably feel repressed sexually, and you probably really struggle with sharing with people how you feel about certain situations in life. There could also be a lot of maybe religious trauma, sex negative comments, or complex trauma with that as well, and different types of teachings here too. There could have been people that created sex negative programs, like sex is bad, sex is negative, like don't have sex till you get married, right? And these scripts in your head, and then it's really hard because then you're like, well, I learned this from people that were there, that who really cared about me and loved me growing up or whatever. And like, why would they say these things? Why does something that relates to sexual energy and just playing around a little bit, why is that a bad thing if it feels so good, right? And so then there can be sexual blockages as well. Like, why does something feel so good? Like, why am I trying to force to push down this urge or sexually repress myself in certain kinds of ways here when something just feels so natural to me, right? And so again, like, it's more of the creative energy overall, and it can relate to sex for lots of people too. You could really struggle with like nurturing yourself though, and you may be overgiving to others and really like giving your energy to other people a lot of the time. And then this could feel like, wow, I don't even have time for myself anymore, or like, wow, I don't even have time to like take care of me at the end of the day. Some other things with this, if you are a creative person and you feel like you're blocked or you're stuck with this, you might be consistently having to like seek inspiration from other people, and then you might seek that inspiration, but then you might steal different creative thoughts, different ideas, intellectual property, and or like their words and like the different things, and not credit them and doing all this stuff because you might feel like, oh my gosh, like yes, and it's like, don't forget who inspired you and these different kinds of things. And so there can also be wounding patterns of that too. Like if people had stolen your creative ideas and like, took, an art idea from you that you wanted to do in school as a kiddo or something like that, and then they did that idea and then they turned it in, they got an A on that art project or whatever, and then like you turned in, you got a B, and someone's like, why did you take this person's idea? And it's like, no, I didn't. Like, it was actually mine. Like, I thought of it first, right? So there could be different things with that, just with even friends or students or people growing up too. So there's a lot when it comes to how to know if your sexual energy is repressed here. And this is really allowing yourself to create, any pleasure, right? And if pleasure means, like if one definition of pleasure is like being able to create the best sex life ever, awesome. If it is to create the most intimate life ever, awesome. If it's to create happy moments ever, awesome. If it is to create, art, content, writing, blogging, vlogging, videos, all these different things, and that is, sexual energy for you, like maybe all these things in different ways and different capacities, boo. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Comment something supportive, shameless on my channel here, okay? And make sure to send this to anybody who might relate or resonate with this message overall. Like this video and hit subscribe because I got more content in store for you. Happy Monday, happy Monslay, happy Mental Health Monday, and make sure to stay tuned for more and stay shameless.